Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. I love Jason.
Ayo, Parrish, this shit high, boy.
Shawty catch a ride, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought her two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun. Oh, oh, living lively.
Hey, Jay, are you there? Can you hear me? How are you doing? I still can't. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why I can't hear you, my friend. This is starting to get a little worrisome. Oh, there you are. All right. Now
Like
I can
magic.
hear you. Just like magic. You know, it's funny how we always have some sort of, I guess it just wouldn't be us without any sort of technical difficulties. So we would like to welcome you to the last episode in December to the Around the Ropes radio show. I mean, that is crazy.
It's crazy how the time is just like flying.
It is.
So
As
crazy.
you know, I am Ray from Boston, and I am joined by our consigliere, Jay himself. Noticeable by his absence is the heart and soul of the Around the Ropes radio network, and that would be our founder and creator, Mr. John Blaine. For those of you that are just tuning in, we will briefly recap why John isn't joining us, and it's simply because the man needs some time. He needs some time away. He has been working himself to the bone, and we don't want him to work himself into a shoot, brother. So he's taken some time off, especially for the holidays, and he will be joining us. You know, he might pop in for a little Christmas surprise, but he will pop in when he is essentially damn good and ready.
And well deserved too. He deserves it all, and it's good to refresh. It's good to recruit. You know,
absolutely, 100%. And he has been going. You know, as he's mentioned, he has been going nonstop, really nonstop for so many years.
Yeah, he was at the GCW event. So shout out to John. Shout out to GCW at the mall right there in Jersey. So it was a good event. I saw some photos that he did, and I know he went live for a little bit. Total of Time, shout out to him. He was also there in the building. He was also doing some content, so that's pretty awesome. Overall, man, the guy's a hard worker. So yeah, you need to regroup. Sometimes you need to just step back, you know, and just regroup, refresh, and come back stronger in 2026.
Absolutely. So with that being said, and with this being our last episode of November, there are a lot of things we do have to get to. One of them being our lovely way for our viewers to contact us. They can hit all of our socials, Facebook, YouTube, and I think we're going to start streaming on Twitch. I can't even remember. But they can also email us their questions at aroundtheropespodcast26@gmail.com. And it's looking like we might already have some comments. You said December, it's November, from Mirko So Saucy over on YouTube. Did I say December?
I can't recall, but I will say this. Recently you just said November, so I'm gonna go with the recent.
There we go. That's all you got. That's all that matters. It's just
you got it right. Even if it was a mistake, you got it right.
Yeah, exactly. And not first time, but definitely long time follower, David John over in England, who is staying up till 2:00 in the morning to look at our ugly mugs. says, as we say in England, John works his bollocks off. He deserves a well-needed rest. Best wishes to him.
Does.
David, we couldn't
Yes.
agree with you anymore. That is very aptly put.
Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in, David. Thank you, Mirko, and thank you everybody else that is tuning in and has tuned in over the past to help get us to where we are. So let's get down to business. This past weekend, Jay, we saw AEW's Full Gear 2025.
Wow.
Before we recap the matches, did you watch the event?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on a scale, just on a scale of 1 to 10? How satisfied were you with the show?
I'm at an 8. I thought they delivered, and I enjoyed the show. I wish I was there. I didn't even know it was in Jersey,
right around the corner from you.
Yeah, my shock was just like, oh wow, like I can't believe this. I could have went there. So it was just crazy. I thought it delivered. I give it an 8 out of 10. How about you?
I'm right there with you. I feel like that was probably their best pay-per-view of recent memory for me. Like I again, I will always have the pacing issue with AEW, but that's just their thing, right? Like they want that, like not giving you a chance to breathe, to take it all in, right?
Right.
You know, like, I mean, we went from what did we do? We had the Darby match, and then we went right into Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly, and like you couldn't even, like, it was just crazy how they went back to back with those matches, and it was so much. Like, normally I don't like feeling mentally exhausted or emotionally exhausted after watching a pay-per-view. But for some reason, the way AEW does it, especially for this show, it worked for me. You know, like I didn't have that feeling of being emotionally and mentally drained. So I really, that really helped contribute to boosting the score, because that's usually what in my perspective, that's usually what takes the score down, is doing that real fast pace, back to back, not letting anything breathe, not letting anything process. And I thought that they did a fantastic job. Real quickly, we had so to start off, the way that the card started off, and I did not see the tailgate brawl or the pre-show.
Me too.
I was able to get in just as the Pac versus Darby Allin match started. Right. So the results of the four-way tag tailgate brawl, which was Bang Bang Gang versus the Acclaimed versus the Outrunners versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. You had the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, going over. And listen, I'm not mad at that.
Not at all.
I'm not mad at that, because we could all use a little bit more Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn on our TVs.
Especially when Juice just like came back a few months from his injury. So
yeah, and Juice is always entertaining. I feel like Austin Gunn really, really starting to find his stride and finding, what works for him. It was a little bumpy at first,
right?
But I'm glad to see where he is. I thoroughly enjoy watching the two of them, especially together, because they play off of each other so well. And I think going back to his NXT days, Juice Robinson is that kind of guy, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that I'm going to mention right now. He's like this generation's Dolph Ziggler. Okay. You can put him with anybody, whether it's in a tag team, whether he's working with them or against them, and he will make everybody look good. Same way that you can do that with Dolph Ziggler, / Nick Nemeth in, WWE and Impact.
Oh, he's like the prime example. Like, there you go. If you want to be selling, watch
Right.
Taven Ziggler. Watch him on MSG.
Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic. So that's I'm always happy when we have Juice Robinson. We got a comment coming in from David that says, I don't totally dislike AEW. We get Dynamite and Collision free to view here in England. I just think they're seriously lacking when it comes to creative structure. See, David, I don't disagree with you, but this card and some of the storylines were so well structured on this pay-per-view and setting up future storylines that I am hoping there's consistency, because with this, if there is consistency, then AEW very well can take that number 2 spot and be the contender that everybody wants them to be and was wishing that they would be, 6 years ago when they started. And listen, that's not a knock. Everybody falls in like that weird timeline, right? Like you where you don't really know what's going on. WWE experienced it before the Attitude Era. Like they were in that weird in between where you kind of had guys with gimmicks, you didn't have guys with gimmicks,
guys with clowns, and
like so. I feel like if history repeats itself, then this could be an even bigger boom than we initially saw with AEW since their inception, as long as the continuity and the consistency stays. We have a question from Mirko Sosasi over on YouTube. He says, is Colton Gunn injured, or is he not in AEW anymore?
Definitely.
Mirko, I believe that he is injured. I believe his injury happened a few months ago, and it was during a Collision taping, if I am not mistaken. I am sure we will have plenty of people telling me whether or not I was wrong on that, which is fine. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. Shamika Andrews over on Facebook. Sorry, she's not in Facebook. She says, my question is, why does everyone have to be hemorrhaging from the head every episode? Yes, that's why.
I don't know why, but
this is something that I have also said. It's kind of a hill that I'm not willing to die on anymore. If they want, color and blood that frequently and kind of take the mystique off of when it happens, for AEW anyway, then that's their thing. Like it's kind of gotten to the point where I now, during a Jon Moxley match, I now have a timer running to see when the blood's going to start. I know that Tony was a huge ECW fan. I'm not sure if that factors into it. Where you had like the Sandman was busted open before he even finished walking to the ring. And 99% of the time that was because of him busting his head open with the beer can. But for me, like I said, I'm not willing to die on that hill anymore. I was in the beginning. I just now know that it's AEW. It's going to happen.
I'm used to it already.
You can be used to it, right?
Yeah.
Do I think that it does take away from when it really does happen in like WWE or Impact or NWA? Yes, because I was brought up the old school way, right?
Right.
Which is it helps to further or end the storyline. Right? Like if you Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair didn't, and as much as people like to think so, Ric Flair didn't bleed all the time. It's just that when he did it, boy, did he do it. The crimson mask, the platinum blonde hair. And that's actually why he kept his hair as bright as he did, because when he gets the color, it pops more. I don't let it take away from my enjoyment of the product anymore. Will I always be like, I wish that they could have, just been a little bit less, for lack of a better term, gratuitous with the bleeding? Yeah, because for me, I feel like it no longer helps the story.
I will say this though about Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
The blood that were in the matches, I felt it was well needed because
For this pay-per-view, yes.
Right. Because they told the story, so I was expecting it to end in that way. And it was well needed the way they were telling it. So I was totally invested. I don't mind it. I just don't need to see it. I just need to know when it's
I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it on Collision or Dynamite.
Right.
I mean, let me rephrase that. I don't need to see it on every Collision or every Dynamite. And I say that because Blood and Guts is always a Dynamite thing, right?
Right.
And I love the fact that they did the storytelling. They kept harking back to the fact that Kyle O'Reilly shed a lot of blood in Blood and Guts, but doing that, he was able to submit Jon Moxley, and how he submitted Moxley again. And then he ends up going over. So you knew that Moxley O'Reilly fight, it was probably going to be a bloodbath, and I honestly don't think that the Samoa Joe Hangman blood was supposed to be at the extent that it was. I think Joe legitimately got busted open on the cage, and it just created a large. I've never seen Joe bleed that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like when he's intentional, when he's right, like when it's supposed to happen, I have never seen him bleed that much. And that's going back to TNA days. I mean, sorry, ROH days.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, like it's absolutely crazy the amount of blood that he lost and was still able to go.
Do you feel like I feel like sometimes they know and they probably say to themselves, you know what? I think the best way is I just slam my face to the gate instead of taking a blade and cutting myself. Do you feel like they just do it on purpose?
I mean, so when it comes to like a steel cage match, I wouldn't be surprised if there are those that are just like
right?
Give it to me the hard way, right? Like you get color the hard way. By getting rammed into the cage or into the turnbuckle or the post, they were the most notorious instance in WWE of getting color the hard way was I think it was SummerSlam, not anything recent. We're talking a few years ago. Randy Orton and Brock, where Randy had talked to Brock before the match and was like, no, after the match, get me color the hard way. And that's when Brock took his gloves off and after the match and beat Randy down and split his forehead open. To which everybody will tell you that McMahon was pissed because that wasn't supposed to happen. But it's Brock, it's Randy. What do you?
Jericho.
What are you gonna do?
Jericho was pissed too.
That led to one of the notorious backstage confrontations between Jericho and Lesnar. I don't think Jericho would have gotten too far. Personally, I think that Brock might have, if it really came down to it, you saw how much power Brock has in that right hand when he popped Strowman, because Strowman was a little too anxious for that. I think it was like his first big pay-per-view match, and he was in the ring with Brock, and he actually legitimately, we all know that Brock has abdominal issues with the diverticulitis and everything like that. Strowman really hit him in the ribs, in the stomach, and it hurt him. It brought him down to a knee. And then you just see Brock get up and he hits him real quick with a 1-2, bing, bing, brings Strowman down to a knee. And you hear Brock, I don't know if they've edited it out, but I distinctly remember hearing Brock saying, slow the fuck down.
Yeah, man. You get a receipt.
Exactly. It's the nature of the business. And back to Shamika over in Facebook land. She says, my other issue with them is they're on these 3 streaming channels. Why are pay-per-view? It's
gotta be that HBO Max deal. And
I honestly thought that when they started doing this, the simulcast with HBO Max, I assumed, and maybe that's on us for assuming, that it was going to go the same way as Peacock with the WWE.
No way.
Because
if HBO Max, this is like the leading
right, but
office.
But if you think about it, we're talking about WWE, the global leader in sports and entertainment. They have the opportunity to be just as money hungry as anybody else, and then they go move over to Peacock, and as long as you have Peacock, you get all the PLEs for free. So I feel like that kind of tainted the waters, and that spoiled us, because I thought that when AEW went to HBO Max and the simulcast, that as long as you have HBO Max, you're good. And then and that's clearly not the case, nor is it the case for WWE now that they are on ESPN.
No way. And they're promoting it so hard this week. Oh my God. Every single scene is Saturday at 7 ESPN.
I mean, seriously, I think so. In my personal opinion, WWE has made 2 giant fuck ups concerning their library and their streaming, right? The first major fuck up was getting rid of the WWE network.
Yep.
Second major fuck up was leaving Peacock.
Now here's my question. Why didn't put their library in their YouTube channel? Wouldn't that be better for them?
You mean like have them charge for their YouTube?
Have the library. No, not even charge. I mean, you could do that later on. You could start off as free and then a year later actually charge, but why not put it in their YouTube channel? They're always putting content every day. Why not put the library? They did with WCW matches. They have the WCW network. So
I honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure that they wanted that.
Be a good solution for now. You know what I mean? Just temporary, not lose it. Actually have, your fans watching it so they can get invested. So then if there's a slight deal on ESPN, hey, we could sell you this now. Now let's make another $1 billion or $2 billion deal, whatever.
I see what you're saying. So what you're essentially saying is build the customer base with the library on their YouTube.
Exactly.
This way, here in 2 years, you incorporate the library into ESPN. Right. You're like, listen, we can do that. Look at all these views.
And
for our library, and we can give this to you. We can incorporate this into ESPN if you sell. You give us another $1 billion.
And honestly, now that we're talking about it, I kind of think WWE did it on purpose. Like, think about it. You have another package to just sell to ESPN and Disney. Hello, how much you think that's going to be worth?
I mean,
library.
I can see that being a real possibility now, especially with TKO at the helm. And we have all heard and all seen what TKO has done for ticket prices. We've heard what TKO has said about, Vince McMahon keeping the ticket prices so low, ridiculously low. And come to find out, it was because Vince didn't want to ever put his shows out of reach of people. Because regardless of what you think of Vince, and I'm not saying anything either way, it is noted that Vince grew up not in the best of circumstances, both financially and emotionally. So I can see why, even though he could charge as much as TKO is charging, why he didn't, because he didn't want to alienate the fans, which is what TKO is doing right now. In terms of ticket prices.
I wonder how many buys AEW Full Gear was on HBO. I wonder how much it did. Must have had some good numbers, like, because it was a good pay-per-view. But you you got to think about it like this, right? I'm an 80s baby right here. So I grew
Mhm.
up with cable boxes where you had to pay 50, 60 bucks to watch a WWF event on a Sunday and go to school the next day. That
My
was me.
guy, you didn't have a black box?
I didn't have the black box. I
Oh
wasn't in the
my
best
god.
living conditions of myself. You know what I mean?
I
So
get it. I get it.
I had to pay to watch these things, and it was freaking awesome. Like, I didn't mind it because I knew I was going to get my money's worth. And I think that's what AEW does with, having blood in certain matches and this and that, and barbed wire and tables and chairs. Like, they're trying to get a different brand of audience, so, audience that a customer they know they could get to them real quick, and it works. And there's a lot of people, and you can't knock them. I mean, there must have been 10-15,000 fans in Jersey on a Saturday. Think about it, on a Saturday. It's crazy. It's college football Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got 10-15 in that building.
Yeah. No, they did.
I
I think they said it was their third or fourth straight full year with 10,000 plus in attendance.
Yeah, I got to give him the kudos. I mean, that's why I said, on past shows with you that, we had a year-end award, which I'm sure we will have. Tony Khan is Booker of the Year. I think he turned it away. If you look at 2024 numbers with buys, audience ratings, the whole roof, demographic, you go through it to this year, you're going to see a big 180. It's definitely there. And we saw it Saturday night, and we haven't even got to the other matches because there were some really great matches.
There absolutely were. David says, I don't mind seeing matches with blood as long as it's not virtually every match. I get it. Sometimes it can't be helped, but I do think AEW does milk the shit out of it. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty accurate and well said. That's kind of how I think about it. But now I don't let it bother me.
I will say this in their defense. If you're watching a show, Dynamite, and it says blood and guts, I think you should just know.
Oh yeah, no. I had said that earlier. I had clarified my statement about it doesn't need to happen on Dynamite or Collision all the time.
Right.
And then I clarified it. I said, with the exception of Blood and Guts, because Blood and Guts is a Dynamite episode.
That's what I give them kudos to. When they have a theme, they actually deliver. Okay.
You're absolutely right. Shamika over on Facebook says, for me, I don't care much about that because I have Spectrum and they offer Peacock and ESPN as part of my package. So she doesn't have to pay extra.
Got a nice package there.
That is a really good. Wait a minute. So wait a minute. So Spectrum Cable includes the ESPN Unlimited app?
I wasn't even aware of it. I don't have Spectrum. I have Verizon.
I got Xfinity, so I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna have to
look. No Spectrum. I'm more the Verizon because that's what they got in my neighborhood. It's like
yeah. Well, so funny thing here in Mass, a lot of towns when cable started to become the thing, signed these ridiculous contracts because it was the only way to get cable in, where the cable company would pay to put the lines in and everything, and then the town would repay them a portion of it, but the cable company would still retain the rights to use those, to approve or deny who uses those lines.
These guys.
And do you think that Comcast/Xfinity is going to allow Verizon Fios to use their lines so they lose customers? No, that's foolish.
These guys.
And in regards to your buy rate question, I did look it up on the Google machine, and my trusty Google machine is telling me that it's too soon to tell. They're essentially still being calculated with the buy rates.
Jeez.
Yeah, they evidently that's like a really long process.
So they must have had a lot of.
Well, just in general, one of the threads on Reddit mentions a 140,000 buy rate.
Not bad.
And that's just for HBO Max.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Like literally at all. Like that's just the people that are signing that did it through HBO Max. We're not counting Triller. We're not counting your regular cable company or anything like that. Or do they still do Bleacher?
I have no clue, man.
Because you remember the Bleacher Sports, you were able to get AEW for when they first came out. I don't even know if that's still a thing. Shamika answers our question. She said, yes, they offer lots of streaming channels through Spectrum. Huh. Maybe I'm just dealing with the wrong. Well, not like I can change my cable company. So, but yes, so we covered the tailgate brawl, the 4-way tag.
All right.
We had again on the tailgate brawl, they had the tag match, Boom and Doom versus Roppongi Vice.
What you said, Boom and Doom?
Boom and Doom. It was
what is that?
Oh my god, those content creators, Boom.
No
AJ,
clue.
yeah, they had him on before. They
no
had him on.
Who is that?
It was so Boom and Doom. It was Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall versus Roppongi Vice.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this next one that was part of the tailgate brawl, I want everybody to keep it in their head. So we had another tag match on the tailgate brawl, Eddie Kingston and Hook versus the Workhorsemen.
Okay.
Eddie Kingston and Hook won. Keep that in your brain for later on in the show. Okay. Now we're getting to the pre-show undercard, which is El Sky Team, which is Mascara Dorado, Neon, and Mystico versus the Don Callis family, Okada, Takeshita, Hechicero, which are the CMLL Trios. It's for the CMLL Trios Championship.
Okay.
And El Sky Team retained, but I did see this.
Okay.
Okada was fashionably late to the match. I think somebody said like about 5 minutes late into the match before Okada showed up. So it was Takeshita and Hechicero. It was a 2-on-3. And then when Okada shows up, there is evidently a miscommunication between Okada and Takeshita, and Okada lays out Takeshita. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that not being part of the main card, simply because when they do have Takeshita split from the DCF, and he's going to be the one that splits from the DCF because he needs it. It is his time to shine, right? I think it's going to be such an amazing feud and series of matches if you just let Okada be Okada, Takeshita be this figure that he is right now, and just let them go balls to the wall, give him 60 minutes. I'm telling you, it is going to be fantastic.
And I agree with everything you say, except for I wish they did it in Full Gear.
That's what I'm saying. I wish it was a instead of it being on the pre-show, like on the main card.
Right. But I don't know why they did it, but I don't think it should be at World's End. I think they're saving it for World's End, but I don't know if that's I don't know if I would have done that if I was the booker. I think I would have had it at Full Gear.
Yeah, I definitely think that would have been that would have made much more sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you have that match on the main card of Full Gear, you have more eyes on it. You see the program starting to form between Takeshita and Okada. I think it's a win-win all around.
Yeah, that's like the golden ticket match right there.
Right, because say you're somebody that like me, I was completely busy. I did not get a chance to turn it on until literally the main card started. So you're not somebody that watches the pre-shows and the tailgate brawl, and now you're going to tune in tomorrow, and it's going to be like, why is there even more animosity built up between Takeshita and Okada? You're going to be somebody, especially if you're a casual fan, you're just going to be like, what the hell's going on? What did I miss?
Yeah. Got to build the story to the audience because most of them don't watch the pre-show. Look, we didn't watch it.
Right, and it's kind of our job to.
Yeah. They're like, well, Boom and Doom is fighting. I think I'm gonna check out.
right.
I don't think I can sit and watch a match like Boom and Doom. Sorry,
I mean, I'm
my job, but
I'm still trying to figure out who Boom and Doom is. Like, which one was Boom and which one was Doom?
I was like, what the hell is Boom and Doom?
I'm sorry, but whenever I'm going to try to keep it so that we don't go off the rails, but it's kind of our show, so maybe we won't.
It's the Thanksgiving show.
It's the Thanksgiving show. It's the last show in November. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. Every time I see the name Doom in a tag team scenario, you know what the first thing to come to my mind is? The first team
Legion?
No, not the Legion of Doom, because I grew up knowing them as the Road Warriors.
Okay.
To me, whenever I see Doom in the name Doom in a tag match, I think of Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, managed by Teddy Long with the black masks on. They were called Doom.
Jesus. They were like freaking Terminators, man. Their bodies.
Oh my God, they were so huge.
They were picking me up like a rag doll.
Seriously, like
their hands were huge, man.
I feel like if you
size of a glove.
And right, and so now knowing what I know now and how many of those the members of Doom and Road Warriors are no longer with us, I believe Butch Reed it's Butch Reed and all of the Road Warriors that have passed on. I think Ron Simmons is the only remaining one out of those four. I really would have liked to have seen Doom versus Road Warriors in the Road Warriors heyday. Like when they coined the phrase Road Warrior Pop. I think that could have been something so special.
Could have.
Just have two massive teams, four massive human beings. Like that is that is the epitome of big sweaty men slapping meat right there.
Meat match. The meat
match. Really, seriously, what did JR call it? A hoss fight?
Hogs fights.
That's what it would have been. It would have been the epitome of a hoss fight. So now we're getting into the main card of AEW Full Gear 2025. First match of the night was Pac versus versus Darby Allin.
There you go.
I gotta tell you, I'm not a huge fan of that Jeff Hardy Darby Allin style, right? I feel like listen to what I'm gonna say. Not because it's not entertaining, but because whenever I see one of them jump off of a 25-foot ladder through 3 rows of chairs, all I can think of is, oh my God, how the fuck are you gonna get up in the morning? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna feel 5 years from now?
Feel like Mick Foley. Can't walk.
Right.
Can't walk.
Seriously. And like, so I that's why I kind of cringe with those matches. So when I saw that this was the match that was leading off the night, I was very much like, I want to tell you that I take all of that back. It was a fantastic wrestling match on both sides with only a couple of Darby spots sprinkled in. Bro, I mean, it was a fantastic opener and it was a solid match. And I know that I said that in the group chat. I was like, oh my God, this is a really good wrestling match. I keep jumping on that because I know a lot of people, when they see Darby Allin is in a match, they're like, oh, what fucking crazy unhinged shit is he going to do? And some people don't even watch because that's not their style. But when I tell you that, like, solid wrestling, like, I mean, they had a good 15-20 move chain wrestling exchange. Like, it was legitimately catch can wrestling. I could
see how you take it. I could see how you watch the match.
And you know what? That locked me into that match even more because I was like, oh shit.
This is I'll give you kudos. Darby Allin did wrestle in this match, which I was happy about. I just don't know what's a good Darby match. I feel like Darby's best matches was in his first year of AEW. I feel like I was gonna say
no.
You
finish,
talk about you said sprinkle in Darby spots. I totally agree, but I just felt like, why do you have to overdo it? And I felt like this match kind of overdid it. I mean, I know I'll be like, no, Jay, come on, he falls off through glass and all that. I get that, but I don't need to see you slingshot through a turnbuckle 2 times and taking a crazy hiatus bump. And I don't think you need to sprinkle it so much. Why can't you just have it a one really good spot in the match and just finish it like that? And also, I wasn't a fan of the finish as well. I didn't enjoy the finish. Yuta Wheeler coming out and causing a distraction, and there it is. The 1, 2, 3 for Pac. You talk about that it was a wrestling match. Why do we need that finish?
I agree with you 100%. I feel like the Yuta spot and then like the heel cheap heat win. I just it did for me as high as I was on that match, halfway 3/4 through it, that kind of did deflate me a little bit because it was a good match. Now, when I talk about Darby spots, I compare it to like those earlier Darby matches where it was like literally just a train wreck. Now, do I think that he could have still cut down on those spots? Yes. But I was happy with the amount that he already cut down.
We have to take these spots into consideration, like blood spots that we talked about earlier. The same thing. Like, it should just serve purpose. Like, I get it. You're gonna do it in this match. You build a story. I don't need to see it 3-4 times, especially in the ring and out of the ring. Just make it one good spot, and that's all that I need. That's all. I feel like it just takes a little bit out of the match. And also the finish, I don't felt like you needed it because you were already telling the story from the beginning of the match, having a wrestling style match. So that just kind of took me out of it, like it did for you a little bit. It kind of took me out of it too, like, oh damn, like what the hell's all this?
Yeah, the spot, one of the spots that kind of I had to refocus and get myself back in the match was, so we all know how crazy strong Claudio is, right? We have seen him do the I'm tossing Darby from the center of the ring onto the announce table. When Pac tried to set up for that or started to set up for that, I was like, please don't. Like that's like a Claudio thing. Like let that be his thing, right? And then like you just see him readjust and he fucking body slams him to the cement. Like that's when I was like, ah. But then I was able to get back into it because when they got back in the ring, they went back to, the wrestling. And I think that looking at it that way, like, which I think maybe they were trying to get you to look at, which is we're outside the ring, we can do outside the ring shit. I think that may have been what they were going for. Again, I'm not in those production meetings. I don't know. I get, but at the same time, like it kind of broke the momentum for me for a little bit. Kind of like having Wheeler Yuta come out. Like you're having a fantastic match. Why are you having Wheeler come out?
Everybody was pissed off.
I don't know if you're trying to get Wheeler more heat. And let me tell you, I don't think Wheeler needs more heat. The heat that Wheeler has right now, to me, is very reminiscent of the heat that Dominic had when he first started his heel turn, when he couldn't even, like, as soon as the microphone was put in his hand, he couldn't say a word.
You know what? I'm worried about Daniel Garcia because I don't hear no heat, and I don't hear no pop, and I don't hear nothing.
It's kind of like he's just there.
He's just like there, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy in the hoodie? I was like, oh wait, that's Daniel Garcia.
Bro, do you know how many times I forget like that he's even part of them? I'm like, who's out there wearing culottes?
And you know what's crazy?
And it's Garcia.
Yeah, and when he's out there with Claudio Castagnoli, it's like he doesn't know what to do, man. And when he does the move, it's like no effect. It's like no effect.
Which is weird because we all know that Garcia can wrestle.
Yeah, that's the weird part of the whole thing.
So weird.
Every time he does a move, it's just like crickets. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's very weird. We actually have, ironically, we have a message from the Around the Ropes radio show over on Facebook. It says, "Hey guys, hope you guys in the ATR Nation have a great Thanksgiving Thursday." For everybody that was asking about John and wondering when he was going to come back, and we told you it would be after his little, respite. You can say Happy Thanksgiving to John because that was him.
Oh yeah,
he just wanted to pop. Yeah, I told you he's going to be popping in. You never know how, but he's going to pop in. He's going to be like the Christmas surprise. So, if you had to rate, the opening match, Pac, the Bastard Pac versus Darby Allin, on a scale of, I want to say 5, but like I don't want to get it confused with Meltzer's ratings. Like,
that's what you want to say. 10?
Yeah, let's go with 10.
6.5, 6.5.
I think that's a very solid. I was going to go with 6 because it was better than mediocre, but that finish just really, to me, it didn't make any sense.
I got to give the half for the effort on both guys. So,
absolutely.
6.5.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Good open.
Right. Now, the next match following that was the 4-way tag match. I feel like there was a lot of 4-way tag matches on Saturday.
I saw this match.
The women's tag title tournament semifinal, which was the Timeless Love Bombs versus the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin versus Marina Shafir and Megasis, Megan Bayne.
Your thoughts?
I thought it was a solid match. I think that all of those women performed very well. There was a good amount of storytelling because if you didn't see Blood and Guts, they were all in Blood and Guts. The Timeless Love Bombs were teamed up with the Babes of Wrath, and
right.
The Sisters of Sin were teamed up with Shafir and Bayne.
Right.
So, and I like how they pushed that, and then you kind of got like, and in the beginning of the match, everybody was giving everybody their respect, right? Like the Sisters of Sin were giving respect to, their fellow teammates and Timeless Love Bomb, etc. And then it started to degrade as the match went on, which I'm always a fan of, because it even though to some people it seems like the most basic storytelling, to me it shows that they're still trying to tell a story, that it's not a match without purpose, right?
Right.
Because a match without purpose sucks. It's flat. Wrestling for the sake of wrestling is just moves.
I feel like only certain wrestlers could get away with it, like Osprey.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan can get away with that, right? Like you know what? Forbidden Door is good for that, right? Like Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson, just for shits and giggles.
For the first time,
just for shits and giggles. That those kind of pay-per-views can get away with it. When you have like the NXT versus the SmackDown versus Raw.
Miss those days, man.
Those were some pretty fire matchups. You know,
some pretty prior matchups and some pretty prior video games, man. Oh,
absolutely.
miss
You
those things.
know, so in instances it works, but even then it's still used as a tool for storytelling.
Gotcha.
Whether it's you want that, you can't wait to see that NXT guy come up. I say Keith Lee. Keith Lee was fantastic for Keith Lee, right? Keith Lee went in, did some main roster stuff on the Pandemic Royal Rumble. Everybody wanted to see Keith Lee on the main roster after that. And then they didn't let Keith Lee be Keith Lee because some people thought that big men shouldn't move that way. Big men should work like slow lumbering big men, you know? And, then Keith Lee had some health issues, and unfortunately that's where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, Shamika over on Facebook says, I want to see Marina versus Roderick. Listen, if you tuned in last week, you heard Bobby talk about Marina Shafir and how legitimate she is, and how putting her even against the men's locker room, she's still the most legitimate badass bitch in the fucking company. So when it comes to Marina versus anybody, I'm following Bobby, who's known her longer, and putting my money on Marina. I don't care if it's her husband. Put my money on her. So getting back to the 4-way tag match for Full Gear, the Timeless Love Bombs and Babes of Wrath, Sisters of Sin, blah, 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 blah. Again, for what it was, I thought that it was a good match, but for me, I feel like that could have been a Dynamite match. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I feel like that could have been like a Dynamite main event, just simply because of the stipulation about the tag title tournament semifinal, right? Where they could, you pick the stipulation.
Right.
The tag title tournament is on Collision and Dynamite. For me, this match should have been on Collision or Dynamite, and you have the finals of that tag team tournament be on your next pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Now, if that means that they should have started the women's tag team title tournament sooner so that the finals could have been on Full Gear, then that's what they should have done. But having because to me, anytime you have a stipulation, a match for a stipulation, especially for a tag team tournament, where the ending result is inaugural champions, that's something that should be available to everybody. And then you have the finals to sell your pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I thought it was but I did think it was a solid match. I thought it was a good match. I didn't think it was necessarily a great match. I felt like there were a lot of things that kind of ended up a little flat, came out a little flat. Some things that were done that shouldn't have been done. Some things that were done that could have been done that weren't done. But I think I would give it a solid 6.5.
Okay. I got some thoughts about this match.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to start off with first. I mean, I didn't know about the pre-show matches, but now that I hear this, I think I would have switched to Kesha match with Okada and put the 4-way in the pre-show. I would have done that. Another thing is, I got to give AEW credit with the story. I think this is why I enjoyed this pay-per-view. It was about the story and pushing it. Now, all these women were in the Blood and Guts match, and they told the story there, and they continue with it. The problem that I see in this match is that not a lot of fans are familiar with certain people. Like those Triangle girls, I didn't even know they were in a group. Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and the other one. Maybe you could name it. Yeah, there you go. I didn't even know they were in a group. I know they were like together, but I didn't know there was like a group.
Yeah, they're the three of them together are called the Triangle of Terror.
Yeah, terror,
which is funny, and I'm going to tell you why that's funny. Having a triumvirate called the Triangle of Terror is funny to me as a longtime wrestling fan, because back when Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth were going to get married, I think it was SummerSlam 92, where they had the match made in heaven and the match made in hell.
Okay.
The Triangle of Terror was Colonel Mustafa, which was the formerly known as the Iran Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter when he was the Iraqi sympathizer, and General Adnan. They were called the Triangle of Terror. So whenever I see in pro wrestling a triumvirate called the Triangle of Terror, that's all I can think of. I wish they had thought of a different name, because when you look at any three of those hardworking ladies, you definitely don't want to be seeing Sergeant Slaughter, Iron Sheik, and
I just
General
feel like certain fans get left out because not everybody watch Collision all the time, so you're not going to know what's going on. I felt like there was so many illegal tags. I didn't even know who was legal in the match at certain points.
Yeah, that was the other thing, is that the rules weren't. I didn't think the rules were laid out like all that well. I didn't realize that it was.
I felt like it was a spot fest. Like one group is going to do their spots, and now we're going to do this spot, and now the other group is going to do this. Then we're going to tell a little story with Tony Storm and Mina. We're going to tell the story there. But I got to give him credit. Whether you like this match or not, whether how good or bad it is, the story continued. That's what was really good about it. So I'm going to
be engaged.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 5 because of the story and it continued. But overall in the match, I just I think we could have done this in the pre-show, or like you say, Dynamite or Collision.
Yeah. For me, what stops it from getting a higher rating for me is, at times it was almost as if it was a tornado tag match. At times it was as if it was a mixed match where you can tag anybody else.
Pure
like
chaos.
It doesn't have to be your partner, which to me doesn't make sense. Like if it's for the tag team title tournament, you should only be able to tag your partner that you're in the tournament with.
And when you start tagging other people, you get lost.
Yes,
pretty
especially,
sure
especially with that many people.
I'm pretty sure it's happened to wrestlers. You tagging other people, then next thing you know, you're like, wait. I'll just go for the pin. See what the ref says.
Right.
See what the ref says. I don't know.
So after that 4-way tag match, we have the tag team title match, which was Brodito versus FTR with Big Stoke in their corner. Man, it was an FTR Brodito match. It was a solid match. You're hardly ever going to find me saying anything negative about an FTR match because they're so solid. And Brodito, even though they are a new team, I think it is fantastic, the fact that they act like they've been teaming together for so long. I would not know, if I were a casual fan and turned that match on mid-match, I would not know that Brodito has only been a tag team for a couple months. I'll say a few months. They were very much in sync. Bandito is phenomenal, and a phenomenal in-ring competitor. He can do the power spots. He can do the high spots. Brody, for a big man, he can move. We know that. I think that they complement each other, very similar to how Dax and Cash from FTR complement each other.
I couldn't agree with you, man. This was a really solid match. And the good thing about this pay-per-view was there was a lot of shockers, and I was shocked when FTR did win the titles. I did not expect that, and I think that makes wrestling's so good
Mhm.
that you don't know what's going to happen, that unpredictability, that any chance to happen. And that's what I saw in this match. And I actually really, really liked this match. I thought it was solid, man. If I had to rate it, I'll give it an 8, man. I thought it was really, really, really good match. And the story was there all along. And Brodito as a tag team, hey, they lost the belts, man, but I do not mind them chasing because they're probably even better chasing. So bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not want to see Brodito broken up anytime soon. They are fun to watch. They're entertaining to watch. They're believable, which is fantastic. I always love it when I can truly suspend belief because it is so believable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, we have a comment from our friend across the pond there, David. He says, I hate to go off subject, fellas. That's fine. We always go off subject. You should know that by now, David. He says, but I thought I'd just let you know, with Survivor Series War Games coming up this weekend, I'm currently taking a little trip down nostalgia lane watching Survivor Series 95 right now. 95. Oh my God. 95. Is he 95?
Where was I? Was that junior high? I'm trying to think, like
95. I was a freshman.
I think I was in I think freshman.
That is crazy.
That's a good Survivor Series, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm trying to remember who it was.
It was.
This was when we were still. This is when they were still doing the 4-on-4. This is when they were still doing the 4-on-4 matches.
Yeah, and then I think the main event was it Bret Hart and Diesel, I believe.
You're right, Bret Hart. Good memory. Bret Hart Diesel, no DQ match.
Yeah. That's when they were. I always say, like, Diesel was not it for champion because he could never put asses to seats. That was just me. Like, if I had to take the WWF at that time, I would say Diesel, my number one.
Yeah.
Never put asses to seats when he held the title. That's not I'm not knocking him and his accolades. I'm just saying, like, asses to seats make you want to watch. I don't think Diesel was it.
Back at that time, and being that age, I'm trying to, like, did I watch that one because of Diesel, or was it because of Bret?
It gotta be Bret.
I distinctly remember Diesel doing an interview with Mean Gene? I think it had to have been Mean Gene still at that time, where he was just doing nothing but talking about Bret and like giving Bret his flowers and everything. And I was just like, huh. Yeah, I think I may have ended up watching that. I think the Bret aspect of that match is what made me watch that
one. But I think the Survivor Series match has some really all-stars, man. I think it had
oh my God, those 4-on-4 ones.
I think you had British Bulldog, you had Owen Hart, you had Razor Ramon. I mean, you had some players like in that Survivor Series. I don't really know how the teams were set up, but I know the players were there. But it was I mean, 95 wasn't bad. I think
it was the third match of the night. It was called the Wild Card Survivors match, because this one had heels and faces mixed at random on each team.
So definitely Owen and British got to be there then.
Well, so it's funny because this is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is when British Bulldog and Owen Hart were tag team champions. On team 1, you had Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, British Bulldog, Psycho Sid.
Johnson. Wow.
On team 2, you had Razor Ramon, Yokozuna, Owen Hart, and
yes.
Dean Douglas.
I wouldn't expect Ahmed Johnson though. What a shocker! I forgot about that dude.
Hey, you know who hasn't forgotten about Ahmed Johnson?
Everybody. Everybody. Ron Simmons is over. Yeah.
Man, what Ron Simmons did to that man when he came back after Ahmed had lacerated his liver was it was brutal. You should go find that footage.
David, if you're watching that Ahmed Johnson match, please tell me if he hurt somebody in the match.
I mean, that was almost every Johnson match, according to some people. No, but I think it was an episode of Wrestling Challenge where Ahmed was facing Farouk, and he did something that he wasn't supposed to do, and it caused Farouk to be injured, and it put him on the shelf for a long time.
Yeah, man.
You know,
that's what happens when you don't learn the fundamentals.
Mm-hmm. So so getting back to thank you, David, for putting us off the rails.
We'll talk about War Games. Don't worry. It's coming up. It's coming.
Yeah. Did we get our ratings in for the Brodito FTR match?
I said 8.
8. Yes, and I agreed with you. That's right.
All right.
What do you think of FTR being the new champions? We already talked about that. You like it because you said
I like it because they got heat. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's coming back now. All right, so now we go to the Casino Gauntlet match to crown the inaugural AEW National Champion. I want to pause this right here. I know people are going to get on AEW's ass because they have too many championships. I don't care that they have too many. I do care, but not in this instance. I don't care in this instance because you can ask anybody that has known me long enough. My 2 favorite belts designed are the NWA original TV title, which it was kind of a direct carbon copy of the NWA National Championship, except the TV title was done in platinum or silver with a red strap as opposed to gold and the black strap. So anything that brings that belt design back to the forefront, I'm all for. You can't talk me out of it. So, with that being said, the first two participants of that match were the 2 members of the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. I was excited to see that because I'm always, when you have 2 bona fide badasses with the wrestling pedigree that those 2 have, I was waiting for a match that looked like a shoot fest. Okay? But that's not how it really happened. Because drawing number 3 was the man himself, Ricochet, who had planned for this by making sure that GOA, the Gates of Agony, were on standby and jumped the Hurt Syndicate. I liked it. I liked this match a lot more than I thought I would because I'm always a sucker for threading through a story. And during that entire match, we'll get to that in a second. I am a sucker for threading through a storyline throughout the entirety of a match. And that is exactly what they did with Ricochet, Gates of Agony, and the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate. Yes. Did Ricochet win? Yes. Is he your inaugural, national champion? He is. But you know what? I also think Ricochet's doing some of the best work of his career, being this smarmy little heel that he is.
I gotta give him credit. He was entertaining that night.
Yeah, so I'll give this match a solid 7.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think that's a solid. It was a solid match. Everybody in it was good. Everybody played their part, and I'm glad to see Ricochet having a championship, and I'm glad that Ricochet keeps his character intact even during the post-show, the media scrum.
Now, I had this thought before you get in the comment. I had this thought that when I saw the match in the beginning, I thought you couldn't go over the top rope. there was like certain parts, like guys were trying to go when they're trying to get thrown over, they didn't go down. You know what I mean? And then they
Yeah. I don't know if that was just a timing thing.
So
yeah,
because they were stopping each. You know, I was like,
Mhm.
wait, oh, okay, you could go over.
yeah, I know. It was there were, but that wasn't the only match that happened in. I don't know if it was a rope setup thing or what.
I don't know why they were doing it in the beginning, because that's what I thought. I was like, okay, so they can't go over because they're watching themselves from falling on the floor. I'm like,
yeah, it's times like this that make me miss when AEW would specifically describe and put up the graphic of the rules of the match.
yeah.
You know, like I missed that when they, that was one of the things that I really
should have
liked
done
about
it for
them.
this, because I was.
I think anytime they have those gimmick matches, like the 4-way women's tag title, tag semifinal stipulation,
tornado tag for
yeah, like just make our lives easier. I don't like I don't want to think as much as I'm.
Let's call
doing.
Oprah.
So yeah. So Shamika, I know I've had it up for a little while. Shamika over in Facebook says, I am just waiting for Oprah to show up and say, you get a championship, you get a championship, you get a championship. Which, yes, that is exactly, again, like I said, that is how it feels with AEW a lot of the time. But because of the design of this title, I'm not saying it this time. Because I want that title.
I just don't know how we went from continental to international. Now we're going to national and taking the inter.
I don't.
It's like, whoa, bro, what are you doing,
bro? This is a topic for a different show.
Yeah,
like we have so much to still get through.
Bro.
You know.
Yeah, let's keep going because
David said Ricochet is more over as a heel in AEW than he was as a face in WWE. He's doing pretty well right now. No, you're absolutely right. And that's why I'm happy that he won.
I agreed, but I feel like WWE did give him opportunity. He just wasn't ready.
And that could have been a huge part of it too, because I remember during the pandemic, he started to catch a little bit of momentum. Like he dropped like the fancy tights, and he was just out there in black jeans and a beater. Black jeans and a
trying
tank
to
top.
find himself. Like,
yeah,
he was just trying to find himself. But I felt like they did give him the opportunity.
Yeah, and he just wasn't. And you're right. Maybe he just wasn't.
He didn't find.
He wasn't there on how to put them all together to make himself appealing to the WWE.
He was mostly a face, so
that's true. That is true.
That also plays a part.
All right, so that was the Casino Gauntlet match. Next, we're going into the No Holds Barred match between Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley. We already touched on this. I don't think the only thing I don't think we gave we gave it a rating. I go with a 7 on that one.
I'm with you too.
You know, I love the fact that Kyle once again submitted Moxley.
That was the right call.
It absolutely was the right call. I am honestly just waiting for the bastard himself to kick Moxley out of the Death Riders for losing and giving up too easily.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
I think that's what maybe it's not, and maybe they're just going to start giving Moxley a crisis of confidence. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. Is Pac is going to be like, he's going to talk to Claudio, he's going to talk to Wheeler.
I know the comments are going to come in about Moxley and his matches and how they probably don't like the blood and all that. But I will say this: he's doing his damn job. It's putting people over.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle O'Reilly, perfect example.
Listen, I have no problem. I have no problem with the blood in this match because they sold this as like a blood feud, and so I'm okay with that.
Kyle O'Reilly was super hot, and then the whole neck injury happened. Then he was lost in the shuffle, and the Adam Cole incident. Now they're giving him the spotlight. They're giving him the opportunity. What better person to work than Jon Moxley? I know people say bad things about this guy, but you got to give the guy credit. Putting people over. He's making you want to watch.
And he's making you want to watch somebody else other than himself. Jericho, you know, all of Yeah, so did I. Shamika says, I thought they were going to kick Wheeler out a long time ago.
Let's start with Garcia first.
I mean, bruh, you want to talk about somebody that's lost their mojo.
You want to talk about somebody that's lost in limbo? That's just Daniel Garcia.
Seriously, like what, bruh? What happened? You know, yeah. All right, so we're good with a 7. And that the blood fit that match. Then we go into the and this is what I was talking about, the not having a chance to breathe. You have the Casino Gauntlet match, you have the no holds barred match, and then you go into this no disqualification TNT Championship match. Like, bruh, can my brain like process? And the no disqualification TNT Championship match, Kyle Fletcher, who was the champion, versus our favorite redneck Mark Briscoe. You know,
with the martial arts, kung fu martial arts.
Oh my God! What do they call it? Chicken? What does Excalibur call it? Chicken kung fu?
Oh no, man! It's just funny.
Listen. Mark Briscoe does not need a title to be entertaining. Mark Briscoe can storytell perfectly fine.
Promos.
Bro, I want to tell you that was some like this feud with Kyle Fletcher. I will say gave you some of Mark Briscoe's best promo work. You know, I don't
even know what's a good Mark Briscoe promo to be.
Well, any of the promo. Listen, you know when Mark Briscoe was like off, like just off in La La Land with his promos.
Okay,
right?
So you gonna beat me? You gonna beat me, Kyle? It's like, yeah, that's what he told. That's what he said, man. I feel like he repeats it, like he repeats somebody's promo, so he could think, like, okay, I'm repeating this.
But that's what I'm saying. They're like you know when there's when you're like it's a Mark Briscoe promo and you're like, huh?
You know what he's like
the last 3 or 4 promos, and especially the promo that he cut afterwards on the media scrum.
Yeah,
like no, those are good Briscoe promos, and I'm glad that Briscoe got the TNT Championship. I understand that he's been, ROH World Champion, but now he is TNT Champion, and he's going to be predominantly featured at every event.
National TV.
Right. And it's a shame that it's only Mark Briscoe, because if people could have seen and been more exposed to like the matches that the Briscoes had in ROH, even some of the earlier matches in AEW that they had with FTR. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, those were all ROH. It was when AEW had bought ROH, but they were under the ROH branded because Warner Brothers Discovery didn't want.
Watch the Briscoes and Kevin Steen and Generico.
Oh my God! Like, it's so good. Watch their promos. Jay is the wrestling world lost someone truly special because of a drunk driver. And I feel like with Thanksgiving literally being in 2 days, like, bro, it's not that serious. Get a fucking Uber, call the fire department. You can actually call your local police station. They will give you, or they will pay for an Uber in some cases.
Yeah.
As opposed to them being out there and having to bust you for drunk driving.
It's crazy too. Like, I see texting and driving all the time. It's like, you could just talk to your phone and the phone could just take your voice and just write down the message.
My brother's car does that. Like, he doesn't even have to do it on the phone. Like, the car will read him the text message and then he'll be like, respond. And then it just records his voice. It reads it back to him and he's like, send.
Yeah, it's like, hello, this is why you're paying thousands of dollars on your phone. Like, what the hell?
It's absolutely crazy. Shamika, thank you, Shamika, for being so active this week. We really do appreciate it. We do hope you have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Garcia joining them, to me, is up there with Cena turning heel. Just why? Well, the Cena turning heel thing, that was busted. So many factors that were not John Cena caused that storyline to be dead.
Yeah.
Before it should have been. Between Travis Scott, the Rock breaking character, like.
Yeah, let me just tell everybody what I truly wanted to do.
Right, like, bro, we get it. You're part of the board of directors. That does not mean that you have to come out, during a Netflix debut and drop some shit. Like, bruh, no, you fucking it up.
You killed the Star Wars story. You killed it.
Seriously. And then we go. So, I want to say that was a solid match. That's an 8 for me. The TNT Championship. Maybe even an 8.5 because, you get the 0.5 for Mark Briscoe winning.
I'm going to say that was one of the scariest matches and insane match that I ever saw. Just for the fact that there was a screwdriver on the turnbuckle.
Oh, my God.
And this guy, Kyle, is lifting this dude.
I'm like, oh, my God, somebody's going to fucking die.
If one slip hap, hey, buddy, you're not coming back.
No.
You're done. So talk about scary spot. I never seen anything like that. Insane.
Yeah, I hope we never do see it again either.
I don't even know why would he even attempt that. That's the crazy part. So
for that whole exchange in the corner, I don't think I breathed.
It was insane.
Because I was so much like, please don't let anything happen. Please don't let anything happen.
Yeah, one slip.
Don't let anything happen.
It's over. But I'm with you on the same rating, but 8.5. But that was just crazy, man. I never seen a match like that. And let me tell you, you talk about when we said like wrestlers do, just hit the cage on purpose to get blood. Kyle right here was a perfect example. He was taking those ladder shots without protection.
Yeah,
come bust me up.
Seriously, like, and that's coming from the company that said we will never allow unprotected headshots with anything.
Yeah, but I don't need to see that spot though. I don't need to.
No,
see that. That's insane.
I'm good with that. So then we go into the $1 million trios match: Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Josh Alexander, representing the Don Callis family, versus Jurassic Express, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, and Kenny Omega. And there was $1 million on the line, put up by iDrink, which was the sponsor for the night. And I thought that this was, again, another solid match. The ending of it was, I was expecting it to end the way that it did. But part of me was kind of hoping that it wouldn't, so that we could get a little bit more of a prolonged feud with Omega and the Bucks.
So you're with me, like they did it too early.
I do think that they did it too early. Absolutely. I think that you could have let the Bucks get more money blind, right? Getting blinded by that $1 million, and have a month or so worth of vignettes or backstage vignettes of the Bucks just going buck wild with the money, and vignettes of like Kenny and Perry trying to talk to them, bring them back down to earth a little bit. I absolutely would have had the Bucks align with Kenny due to Kenny getting a brutal beatdown. So that part they did right. I just would have done it a lot more brutally. And yes, I still would have used the Don Callis family, because you need the Bucks to turn on the Callis family to really get that closure.
All right.
But again, a solid match. I do agree with you that they pulled the trigger a little too early for that, but I kind of am also glad that we do have the Elite back together.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7, but I will say this: I also felt the time duration when the Young Bucks were out of the ring and they started attacking, and they were literally like 6 feet away from the ring. I felt like when you're going up and just turning around all the time and you make it actually to that curtain call, it's like, bro, you had all this time. You made all these facial expressions. You're selling me. I don't need you to go all the way up and have a conversation, whatever. I already know this guy's getting beaten down. Like,
I would have if
why you got to go all the way up? It's like
so. Here's the thing: if it were up to me, I would have waited for them to have their backs turned, right, as if they were starting to walk up the aisle, and then have Kenny having the holy hell beat out of them. And I'm okay with them getting to the top of the in the scenario that I had in my head. I'm okay with them getting to the top of the ramp and then looking up at the Tron and seeing Kenny getting just obliterated, and then looking at Don and Don trying to get him to just be like, no, let's go spend the money, blah 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 blah, you know, and then them just looking at each other and just being like, yeah, fuck you, and then running back down to the ring. Like, I do agree with you that all that looking back from the moment they stepped out of the ring and the beatdown started,
right,
till they got halfway up that ramp, that was because now you're telegraphing too much for
and you can't give excuse for either or, because I believe Nick saw it, but not Matt, and then Matt saw it. So it's like you guys both saw it at different seconds of time, and y'all weren't even halfway up the ramp.
Right.
So it's like, hey, I already know you're conflicted. You're telling me, but do I really need you to go all the way up and buy some time, et cetera, et cetera? Like,
right.
I also felt like it hurt it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I am in agreement with you with it kind of hurting the segment. I'm also in agreement with the solid 7. That's good.
Yeah.
Shamika's bringing us right back a little bit to the Fletcher Briscoe match, when she said it's like they're trying to push the limits, but it doesn't make it fun to watch, just makes me want to turn it off. And I completely understand what she's saying, because her wanting to turn it off was me not breathing until that screwdriver was out of the picture. You know, like, it just,
and whose idea was that?
There's smarter ways to push the limits, man.
Whose idea was that? Who came up with that one? I want to know.
I don't care who came up with it. Who fucking approved it?
Oh, Tony, he lets everybody do whatever.
Like, see, and that's for me, that is why he will never win Booker of the Year in my eyes, because as the booker, one of your main jobs is to protect the wrestlers from themselves. You know, and until you can consistently show me that that's what you're doing, I can't in full confidence say that yes, you are the best booker. You know, we're heading into the stretch right now. Last 2 matches, which I think that they were perfectly fine in the way that they set this up. They didn't have like the women's World Championship match in the beginning of the night and then close it out with the men's. This was done correctly, the way I think it should always be done: women's, then the men's. And for the Women's World Championship, we have Stack versus Mercedes. And I would have been happy whoever won. I am a fan of Mercedes. I am also a huge fan of Statlander. And you have Chris Statlander going over Mercedes Moné to not only retain her women's championship, but to also be the first person to give Mercedes an L in AEW. And I got to tell you, I am okay with that, because how are you going to have somebody who has never lost lose to somebody who is not the champion?
I think she lost to Toni Storm.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. All In. July. All In.
Oh.
That's when Tony kissed her, and that was it.
So they messed up on their own product.
So if you remember Blood and Guts, that's when Moné kissed her. That was
right. Okay, because that I didn't understand that, but now that you bring it back, I get
that's
it.
That's why she kissed her.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes so much more sense.
It was her second loss.
Okay. Man, they kept saying, the commentary booth all night kept saying it was her first major loss in AEW. Huh.
Yeah. They're really smart, those guys.
Yeah, that's we might want to look into that. I give that one a solid. I give that one a solid 8. That's a solid 8. It was a good, solid, hard hitting match. I can't really think of any weak spots in that match.
No, I this was match of the night for me. So this was an easy 9 for me.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné, Woman Wrestler of the Year for me, man.
Yeah, I can
Now,
absolutely.
this is where I give it a 9. I don't
Okay.
agree with the finish because I feel like Mercedes Moné can attract more and get women over more because she has a lot of enemies
Mhm.
in the whole roster compared to Statlander. When you're trying to book her, you want to book her with someone that's like top tier heel. And I just feel like there isn't a lot of those players. So you always have to rely to face like a Tony Storm or whatever to try to get you a little over. So I feel like that's the struggle there. Like I love Statlander as a champ and everything, great match, but I just feel like I don't know if that was the right call just because of the fact that you may have trouble booking Statlander to how you want to book her and make you a believer that a contender can actually beat her.
I 100% understand what you're saying, but this is where it kind of gets a little lost in the weeds. Is that a Statlander issue, or is that a production issue? And by production, I mean agents, I mean bookers, because Stat's not in charge of the character development, right?
Right. But that's the problem. It's all behind the scenes, and it goes especially to the booker you say you won't give it, which is Tony Khan. You're not building stars. And as a result, you're relying on veterans to try to get you over, especially when they win championships. And that's not going to cut it. We've been there. We've done that. If you don't create stars, it's kind of hard to kind of book Statlander to a match that you want to see her versus a Sky Blue on a pay-per-view. I would not be interested. I would not be invested. It would be a bathroom break if I was there live. That's what I'm saying. I just feel like Mercedes Moné, she cuts all these promos on how she's the best. I'm the top women division. And she fights all these wrestlers. But little by little, you know, I'm not saying they're super over, but she gets them a little over. She gets them a little more TV time. You want to see her fight these people because you want to vote for these people to beat her.
Mm-hmm. Because she's doing her job as a heel.
Yeah, because compared to Statlander's a dominant champion, you know, she can just whip your butt. But who can I believe that's going to step up and try to take that title, even have a chance? I just think it's a little difficult on the booking side because of the fact that they didn't create stars.
So I can tell you that we saw two of the people that I could believe take the title off of Statlander. Right. My question is, are they ready to be put in that position? One is Megan Bayne, and the other is Marina Shafir. Okay. Now, we could also have a returning Thunder Rosa, but you would have to have Thunder Rosa be a heel. I like what they're doing in building the Triangle of Terror, but they're not. Neither one of those three ladies are there yet where they would be believable in beating Statlander, like you said.
Right. But you would believe, which we saw in the past, you would believe a Julia Hart versus a Mercedes Moné.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's my whole point. But you wouldn't believe Statlander versus Julia Hart.
No, I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying it just requires a little bit more suspension of belief, right?
Right.
Whereas if you have like Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne goes over, you can very easily see that because Megan Bayne's a fucking workhorse and a powerhouse.
She had the opportunity, but the thing is, they just ran something different. And if you don't put these people, like you say, Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, if you don't put them in those spots, I'm not saying to beat the champion. I'm not saying that. But if you don't put them in a spot to know what we have, it's like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. I need to know what I have in my roster. I need to know who's going to step up.
Yeah.
I got to put them in those spots.
You're absolutely right. I also think that's where as funny as it sounds, I think that's where mid to late 80s wrestling really kind of got it right. Like for the week, only for the main shows on TV would you have your champion go against somebody who has any sort of name recognition, right? But like for a lot of Saturday night main event, you would see Hogan go against people like Iron Mike Sharp, who was believable to beat Hogan because, you know, there were plenty of times where as a kid I thought he was going to beat Hogan, but because of his sheer size, he was believable in beat, you know, like if he were to beat Hogan, you know. But so like it's almost as if in the 80s they had tiers of enhancement talent, right? Like you have the Iron Mike Sharps of the wrestling world, where you get to face the champion on Saturday night's main event, and like, you know, I don't know, pick another random event, you know, Tuesday in Texas or whatever.
Sunday Night Heat.
yeah, you know, and like on or you know, a random Raw. And then for like your regular Raws and stuff, you had, you know, like the lesser name, the lesser name recognition stars go against, you know, your champion. Or you could go the old NWA way, which was your champion didn't compete on regular weekly television all the time. They came out, they cut promos, they made their presence known and felt, but they weren't competing all of the time. And that's what made Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and all of those great NWA champions, that's what made their title matches special when they had them.
Yeah.
You know, and Shamika brings up a good point. I'm still mad that we didn't get a Monet versus Saraya match. You know, I would have loved to have seen that. I really would have. Like there are so many.
What about a Ruby Riott?
Well, I think she is
currently. Well, we know what she's doing now, but before she was hot.
Yeah, she was.
She was hot. She was hot for a while. She had a good run, and I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, no, literally, then she started to get pregnant.
No, yeah. No, but I'm saying like even before she met.
Angela, yeah. No, because they had her in.
Like she was
and then they stuck her with.
And they
stuck her with Saraya, and she was kind of like comic relief for a little bit, and it was
basically she was like the manager.
Yeah, that was weird for me. I do remember that now.
Let's go to the main event because we got War Games.
Oh my god! Yeah, we're gonna be going a little over tonight, but that's fine because you know, hey, it's Thanksgiving week. So the main event, we have in a steel cage match, Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. I gotta tell you, this match did not go at all the way that I thought it was going.
How do you see it?
I did not see Joe beating Page.
Shocker, right?
Yes. A pleasant surprise. Not to say that I don't like Page. Yeah. You know, I am, if you gave me a choice between who am I a bigger fan of, Hangman Adam Page or Samoa Joe, it's Samoa Joe. You know, and again, that's not a knock on Hangman Adam Page at all. I don't mean it to be.
And worst turn to go heel of the year has to go to Hook.
Right.
Dude,
like,
why are you smiling at the camera? Shut up. Dude. What are you, like 12? Oh, I don't know what he's gonna do now.
I was looking at it. I was like, why the hell is he coming out in a fucking orange leather Averex jacket? I'm like, that makes no sense. And then I was like, oh well, it's orange, so it's Hook, it's Hook and Taz's colors. And then he takes the jacket off, and I'm like, I was a fucking idiot. I should have known that. I should have known that was what was going to happen.
Dude. And he's like, basically, the cameraman's not even moving the camera away. I'm like, dude, you got to move the camera away. You're giving it away, man. He's just staring right at him at the frame shot. I'm like, oh, I don't know what he's going to do now. Oh, he picked up the title. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen now. It was like the worst turn for me, man. I just thought that was so badly recorded. Everything it went down.
Listen, I think that just everybody was just tired at that point, cameramen included, because like, woof.
But
I agree with you. That was probably. I don't want to say it was the worst heel turn. It was definitely the worst reveal.
Yeah, but it has to. It's just like Hook. Like, dude, don't need to smile. Dominic Mysterio didn't smile when he turned heel on his dad.
No,
why are you doing it?
And that was it.
Why are you doing it?
I don't know. I don't know if he was trying to do like that bad boy, like smirk, like you should have already.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
You know. Shamika is on fire tonight. Shamika is on fire tonight. He's like a 12-year-old that doesn't comb his hair.
It's like 12 years old. Like, yo, dude, your dad's a legend. I don't know how you not learn these things.
So here's the thing. I think he's got too much of a baby face, right? He needs to like sully it up. I don't know if he like grow some. I don't know if he. Some people can't grow facial hair. I don't know if he's one of those that can't grow facial hair. If he can grow facial hair, bro, grow the facial hair. Give yourself a little bit more of an edge. Yeah, shave the head down.
Go like Kyle Fletcher. Shave your freaking hair off.
You know, like do it exactly the way he did it with that psycho. Like, did you see him gouge his head when he did it? Like he made himself bleed. He fucking. I was like, Guy
can't even cut his own hair.
That's not like I would have had Don Callis do it at that point. Like just. Ugh. So I give that that match was if we had to rank matches of the night, I would definitely go women's 1, that one 2. And probably the opening match, which is Pac versus Darby Allin 3. Those would be my 3 match of the night contenders right there. Yeah. And I give that one a solid 8.
Yeah, me too.
But then we factor in what happens post match. Fucking 10, baby.
Yeah.
10. That is a 10 out of 10.
I'll let you tell everybody if they didn't watch it.
Oh my God. It was crazy, right? You have the dojo in there. Joe's holding up the title. The cage is coming up, and all of a sudden the lights go out. And you just see the silhouette on the on the stage. And you're like, what the hell's going on? And like the music starts to trickle in, the fog starts to trickle in. I'm like, there's no way Sting is coming out of retirement. This is not Sting. All of a sudden, you just hear, whose house?
Swerve's house.
And it's Prince Nana on the stage. And then like this crazy music starts playing that is absolutely not I Swerve When I Drive.
Yeah, I kind of miss it.
I wasn't a big fan of that. I hope they go back to I Swerve When I Drive. And you know,
he was dancing, made it weird too.
Like, yeah, like because he was still doing the Swerve When I Drive dance, and I'm like, that just it doesn't.
I don't think
the fact that Swerve Strickland, not only is Swerve Strickland back, this Swerve Strickland looks like he ate the last Swerve Strickland. Like the man is huge. I believe I put that in the production chat. I was like, oh my God, he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like massive. You know, and Shamika brings up a good point about Hook. At least he's not eating chips all the time now.
I think he needs to go back to eating chips.
I think so, because it gives him something to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like he wouldn't have he never did the smile when he was eating the chips. Anyway, Swerve comes out, has his superhero moment. And by superhero moment, I mean he had his Captain America moment when Captain America is getting flooded by Hydra in the elevator, and he just destroys all of them. That's exactly what he did with Diop's dojo.
I didn't even know there was a dojo.
I didn't know there was a dojo.
I was like, what is this?
But hey, whatever. It makes sense, I guess. And like, it was fantastic to see Swerve back. Like Swerve used to be the same size as Paige, And seeing Swerve next to Paige and seeing that Swerve is twice the size of Paige, like, holy shit. If you didn't think he was believable as a top tier talent and contender then, before his hiatus, his vacation, you see him now and you're like, holy Jesus. He's almost the size of Powerhouse Hobbs.
He looked great. Great shape.
In fantastic shape. And it doesn't look like it hindered his mobility at all. Because a lot of times you see people get, put on that much bulk and you worry if it hurts their mobility.
And AEW needed the star, man. They needed a star to come back. And that's the word. But this I ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Did we really need Samoa Joe to hold the title? Now, I know there's a plan, but I just felt the story would have been off the cylinder if Paige retained, and that happened.
All right, so I see what you're saying, but I think I understand why AEW did what they did. First off, Paige is much better chasing the championship. As much as I like Paige, his promos don't do it for me as champion.
Okay.
Right? So for me, Paige is much, much better at chasing. And the way that they used Joe's win and the dojo going after Paige to facilitate bringing Swerve back, I think maybe you could have done it if they went with your view, which was to keep the belt on Paige. I mean, I guess you could do the dojo beating him down after the win, but I'm not sure how that would necessarily, like, how would you get to that point, I guess is what I'm saying. How would you get to the point from Paige winning and being upright holding the title to now being beaten down so badly that Swerve has to come out for the rescue? Whereas having Joe win, Paige is already down. You can have the Ops and the dojo jump on Paige, cue Swerve.
But you could go back and say that the last time we saw Swerve was helping Paige win the championship off the Jon Moxley. And we could also say that he's coming down, he's coming to help, and then you could have Joe do all that to set up the triple threat. I think they're setting up a triple threat, but I just feel like we don't need it. But if that's how you want to go, because you want to delay Paige and Swerve to have their run next year, then I'm all for it. But I would just like that it go like that. You don't have to necessarily do it at World's End, but you could have done it like here or whatever.
Honestly, if they didn't already do if Blood and Guts wasn't so recent, I would have said that they're starting to build towards a Blood and Guts feud. Right? Like you have the first two you have the Ops, and then you've got the first two members of the team against the Ops, which would have been Swerve and Paige. But with Blood and Guts being so, literally 2 weeks ago, I don't know where they're going, like what they're doing with that. So Shamika says, and can they please change their name? I think Ops is the dumbest name. Plus it only reminds me of the Naughty by Nature song. Well, so I'm not sure, Shamika, if you know, but Samoa Joe is a huge old school hip hop fan. In fact, during a couple of WrestleManias at Access, there was footage of him doing karaoke, and he was doing old school. I think it was like one year he was doing like Tupac or something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly why they're named the Ops. Is because Samoa Joe's a huge hip hop fan, and it's kind of his homage to hip hop. Yeah. So for me, that is a 10. Without a shadow of a doubt, and a tear in my eye.
Return. It was an awesome return. I don't just the music I could live without, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Can't dance like that. No, I'm sorry. Doesn't work with that song.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. All right, so today is Tuesday, so let's get into the Raw results and highlights.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna breeze through them really quickly. Biggest note for me, biggest takeaway from last night was that Gunther defeated Carmelo Hayes in the quarterfinal match of the Last
Great
Time Is Now
match.
tournament, which we know because we know that Gunther is going to be the one to face John Cena, and
Great
ultimately
match.
go over. I don't think Gunther needs it. I think that should have this spot should belong to Carmelo Hayes or any of the other NXT talent that had joined, based on how John Cena presented the Last Time Is Now tournament, wanting to put over and showcase the younger up and coming talent. I definitely think that Carmelo Hayes could benefit from being the one that beat John Cena and retired him. However, like you said, that was a fantastic match.
And the fact that Melo looked good in his last match as well on SmackDown, I think that even though he took the loss, I think now fans know who he is. And I think that's the most important thing that he walked out with. And now people are going to start paying attention to Melo a little more.
I hope so. And I hope that creative takes this and runs with it.
They have to.
You know, I did like the fact that Tess and Wade were very much like, you know, Carmelo Hayes fighting to, you know, Boston area native, which he is. He's from Providence, Rhode Island, which is literally 50 minutes south of Boston. So Boston area native, Carmelo Hayes, you know, he could fulfill his dream of, you know, getting in the ring against, you know, the man he idolized as a kid, John Cena, and you could have two Boston area natives. And, you know, I thought the way that they helped further along that storytelling was great. It actually started to make me believe, like, oh shit, maybe they're changing plans. Maybe Gunther isn't going to win because they were pushing it so hard. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't, but at the end of the day, I wasn't surprised that Gunther won. I am surprised, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how much they let Carmelo go over. And again, like you said, I can only hope that they take it and run with it. Because I mean, Carmelo was the man in NXT.
Yeah, get him off the Miz.
Oh shit! Oh, Jay. So first off, the MVP of the night goes to Shamika because she has just been in it and on it, right? She says, "Yeah, I believe, you know, Gunther is not the right choice," right? The next comment, Jay, you're going to appreciate. You can read it.
I would like to see Javon Evans. I've been saying this for the longest. I just don't know, Shamika, what they do with this kid. It's like every chance they get to bury him, they just do it. I know Ray may not agree with me, but he doesn't like that word that I use. But I think I could give him. Listen, I'm going to give you the prime example. Here's the prime example. This is for everybody. Me and Ray were talking right here in a conference room. All of a sudden, he tells me, "Hey, Dark State just beat Javon Evans and Leon Sayer." I was like, "You see, there's your proof."
Yeah, that and I did tell you I didn't agree with that at all. I think that I felt that Slater and Evans should have gone over without a doubt. And then I started to really, I started to really listen to what you were saying, and I'm not recanting anything that I had said previously, but I am more so agreeing with you. Like, what is going on that they are okay to let this man to showcase him as much as they do, and then have him lose as much as they make him lose?
I don't get it.
Like, I don't
you want to see what he's capable of? And okay,
man, listen, I'm good for always good. I am always good for I'm a sucker for a good underdog story.
Let's say he's coming up to the main roster at the Rumble. Okay. That's like 10, 12 freaking weeks away. I'm pretty sure my man can hold the NXT tag title and lose it within 10 and 12 weeks, for God's sakes. I mean, what are we doing? this is why I get so upset. I don't know what they're doing with this guy.
I would have liked to have seen going with how you just presented him. I would have liked to have seen him hold the NXT tag titles. Maybe even him be the mouthpiece of the team, right?
Has to be.
And then he comes up, you know, because we you know about this. We always have surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble, right? He comes up. He's a surprise entrant for the Royal Rumble. I would have liked to have seen Ilya in the ring for the Royal Rumble, and Ilya be the one to eliminate him after a good back and forth series. And then that following SmackDown, because Ilya's still the U.S. champion, having his U.S. Open challenge, Javon Evans, the first SmackDown after the Rumble, comes out. They have a fucking banger, because you know they would. Now, you could either have Javon win then, or you could put it into Backlash. You know, at Backlash, you give Javon that moment and have him beat Ilya for the I'm sorry, Backlash is after WrestleMania. What's the one that comes between Rumble and Mania? I want to say Roadblock. Elimination Chamber, that's what it was. Give him the moment at Elimination Chamber and then have the rematch at WrestleMania. They both get their WrestleMania moment, and I would like to see Javon retain at Mania.
You don't want him to win titles in NXT. For God's sakes, put him in TNA and let him win something there. Like, what the hell is going on?
Right. Shamika brings up a good one. She goes, that's just like Jordan Grace. They made a big deal about her coming to NXT, and she's pretty much lost every match that she has had since she's come over. You're not wrong. Shamika's cooking with, first off, she's cooking with gas today. Literally the MVP.
Gas, but she also forgot the fact that they're not even letting her fight NXT star. They're letting her go for Kalani Jordan and TNA titles. Like, why do I want to see her hold the TNA title again?
We've already seen her hold TNA titles.
Like, you work for us now. It's like, what the? Why are you going backwards? I
don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't want you to go for the TNA title. I want you to go for the NXT title. I truly don't understand it. Real side. We're going a little bit off the rails here. But, I know Ava writes this crap. So,
I gotta tell you, Thea Hale, Joe Hendry,
like
that. Oh my God, bro! Probably the two of them against Paige and Chelsea Green. It is such a great, hilarious, entertaining dynamic between the four of them. It is. I need them. I need WWE and I need AAA to keep those mixed tag titles in the forefront. I don't care if you keep them on NXT, but they need to be in the forefront. I need more Thea Hale and Joe Hendry, Chelsea Green, and Ego Page team ups. Like, I need more of that.
So is like Joe Hendry officially NXT, or like, what's his status?
I don't
because I saw him when
I don't know when the contract's up with TNA.
That PLE had a NXT shirt. It said Joe Hendry Believe, and Backus said NXT. So I'm like, what is he, NXT or TNA? Or
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Shamika, I don't disagree with this. I thought everything that she has done since Chase U has been fire. Everything that Thea Hale has done ever since they showcased her with the Chase U storyline has been amazing. And you're right, she is another one that should have had a belt by now.
Gosh, Chase U, rest in peace, Chase U.
So good. I thought it was. And you know what the funny thing is? I thought it was the dumbest thing when it first came out.
It was so bad, but then it got so good. It was like,
oh my! And you know who made it good?
Thea was playing a part.
No, yeah, she played a huge part, but it was the Australian dude.
Duke Hudson.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of his name for the life of me just now.
Yeah, you know why I remember him? Because when he first came, his gimmick was he was a poker player. and they showed all those vignettes in the back, like how he's sitting in the table with poker. He's like, "Oh, my time is coming now."
Mm-hmm.
I can relate because I play poker, so I was like, "Oh yeah, man."
Oh, gotcha.
The guy from the poker guy. This dude Cutson.
Gotcha. Yeah. No,
Not a lot of people remember that.
ever since whenever they started incorporating him more, because like I didn't know how that was gonna go. Was he gonna try to chase you away from Andre Chase? Like,
yeah, I always felt they dropped the ball. Like
I thought it was gonna be a double cross, and then like
they should have done it.
And then like the crowd ended up loving him, and like I was like, all right, well, okay, this is cool.
I think there was like a last minute thing, like, wait a minute. Like, tell the referee, oh, don't tell him to not pull the trigger. Don't pull the trigger. We're getting a lot
don't
of
don't pull it.
You saw a lot of merchandise. Pull it back.
Yeah. We had so going back to Raw, we saw Gunther defeat Carmelo Hayes. Solo Sikoa, and I don't think he was supposed to win, ended up winning because of a referee stoppage, because Penta landed terribly on his shoulder. And from what I have read from reports of people that were legitimately in the crowd and had a line of sight, I think it was a separated or dislocated shoulder, because they said Penta was trying to pop it back in place during the break and was trying to get the ref to help him pop it back in place.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned like you, man. I'm like a big Penta fan, and it was a dislocated shoulder. Dave Meltzer said earlier today that it was actually Solo was going to go over regardless.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, which surprises me because I was like, wow, Gunther versus Solo. But that was the plan. But damn, man, losing Penta with that.
They just reunited the Lucha Bros, dog.
Yeah, and they just reunited, and it's a big loss from Monday Night Raw, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A real big loss, because Penta was just that filler in the mid card that you just have for that second hour. Like, that hour and a half coming in, a Penta match is coming that just gets you invested, man. Like, oh, right, I'm going in the second hour with a Penta match. Like, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, but, and not for nothing. I mean, he is one of the most, like...
The way he landed, though, was like, yeah, I saw it backwards, like, many times. It's like, oh, man, it was so bad, bro.
I saw him land, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny landing. And then I saw him, and then I saw him, like, bang his hand on the mat, on the pad, and he because obviously when you hurt something, that you hurt it. The first one to know. You know
what got to me, Ray, and everybody,
when he was calling for the ref himself.
When I guess it was, I don't know if it was a break or whatever, but then you see the referee holding Penta, and they're like, yeah, Solo's the winner, and you just see Penta like banging like the damn barricade, like damn,
yeah.
I can't believe this. And that's when I knew. I was like, "Oh man, this."
It was coming out of a break. The ref had slid in under the bottom rope. You see him shut off his communicator, and then he's like, "Ring it, stop it."
And he just banged, and I felt him, man. I was like, "Oh man, bro, this guy is so pissed off." And
right, because if you've watched wrestling for longer than 6 months, you know that if it was a kayfabe injury, the camera stays on them. It's when a wrestler lets you know that they're hurt and the camera cuts away that you know that it's something.
Yeah, it's just a big loss, man. Sucks, bro.
It does suck. And I'm not even talking about tournament wise. I'm literally talking about the overall product of Raw, because like you said, those Penta matches, They revitalize you after an hour and a half, 2 hours,
or match that you didn't even care about.
Yeah,
like coming up next, Penta versus JD McDonough. Oh crap! I gotta watch this. Hold on.
Yeah. Speaking of JD McDonough, that's a good segue. Rey Mysterio beat JD McDonough in a singles match. I gotta tell you, it was JD McDonough does not get the respect that he deserves. The match that him and Ray had was fantastic. And I just think that he goes into that Javon Evans, Thea Hale, where they just don't get. I mean, yes, he has had the tag titles with Finn, but I think that was carried more by Finn and his name recognition than by the Irish Ace himself. And I just would like to see him have his. I don't care if it's a AAA title. I don't care if it's, like he goes down to NXT to have a one-off with the North American champion who's down there right now, and he ends up North American champion and brings it up to the main roster, and he goes between the rosters. I don't care. He needs a belt. He needs a singles title.
Coming soon.
So we can only hope. Coming soon. After that, one thing. Well, I'm sorry. Before that, so the show opened up with Roman Reigns coming out, and then Cody Rhodes coming out to talk to Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes in his back and forth with Roman Reigns says, well, so I just want to welcome you to my team. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This all started with CM Punk and Logan Paul, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then Cody was the second person. I'm still confused as to how he is Captain Cody Rhodes. First of all. Secondly, when he says that brings out CM Punk, right? And now CM Punk took like playful shots at Roman and Cody, right? He used both of their catchphrases, Oklahoma City, acknowledge us. And then Oklahoma City, what do you guys want to talk about? Obviously Cody's tagline, Roman's tagline. But the funny thing is when Roman started putting it back on to them, when he's playing the part of the shit stirrer, right? He gets Cody and Punk into this little like tiff about who's actually leading the team and who's the champion. And then he walks away, even though he's the one that started it. He's like, yeah, you guys really should figure that out. And then walks away. Like, I think it shit stirring.
What do you thought? Did it get you, because this was the Raw before War Games, did it get you wanting to see this match more?
It did, because I want to see what they're going to do with Roman. I want to see how Roman's going to do this, right? Okay. Because there was even a backstage segment where he did the same thing, because the Usos came through, because it was with it being the go home show for War Games, they had the advantage match, right? Which was Logan and Drew versus the Usos, which the Usos did not win. So that means that
right. Logan,
Team Vision get the
whatever you want to call them.
Team Vision will get the man advantage now in War Games, so they'll always be up one person.
So this is my thing. I gotta disagree with you. I can't agree with what you said about this segment. I thought they had 3 big top stars in Oklahoma City, and you shit the bed. I'm gonna just go with why they shit the bed. I just feel like they didn't have anything to say. They didn't get me invested into War Games. I just felt like, oh, you're the captain, I'm the captain.
Yeah, I don't really care for that. But for me, it was how
Yeah,
for me, it was how Roman was stirring the pot.
Yeah, I get that, but I just felt it was unnecessary. Stirring what pot? And this is my thing with like championships. It's like, okay, he takes a shot to let you tease, I'm going after a title. Well, it could be your title or it could be his title. And this is why I don't like championships. It's like, why do we have championships? Why can't we just have he's going to go after whoever he's going to go after, whatever brand he's on, right? Like if CM Punk is the champion, like he said I think in the segment, he's like, you're the quarterback on SmackDown. I run things here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So why can't a Raw champion and a SmackDown champion? Why we got to have so many champions? And I'm going to go after this and that. I just feel like
I've never been a fan.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of multiple championships. Like show only one.
You want to do
one brand.
You want to do tag team well, they can't do that now because you have competing brands on, different
it's
networks.
So silly. You called it Cody's Rhodes title, Universal title. Now it's undisputed title. Like, what are we doing, man? We're devaluing the championship. If you really think about it, it's getting devalued. It really is, just by all these names. I'm the Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Champion of what? SmackDown?
Yeah. Yep.
It's silly, but I get what you say. Look, I get what you say, stirring the pot. I will agree with you on that part. But as a segment as a whole, to get me wanting to see the match,
it ran far too long. It could have been a lot shorter.
It didn't deliver.
I feel like if they had shortened that segment and still gotten everything in it.
And David brings up a good point of what we just talked about.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get there. We are going to get there. We're gonna get there.
But before we get there, I think we should talk about the women's War Games match and how all those promos went down, because I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me. I thought
no.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought that the women's face-off was 100 times better than the men's.
Absolutely.
Like the women right now are just killing it.
And guess what? It was the entrance that was making it good. And they ain't even all talk. But I gotta say this, Ray, and everybody. AJ Lee just cut one of her best promos coming back. That was the best promo I heard AJ Lee cut. I know she was resting to start, but Jesus, what a promo.
When she hit her stride, you could tell when she hit her stride.
Yeah, she was like, you bark, I bite. I was like, oh my God. She's just killing all these one-liners at the top woman of WWE and Becky Lynch. I was just shocked, bro.
Let's not skip over Becky's.
Becky's was really
that
good.
Was not only was it good, but it was funny. I love it when heels go after each other, and she did. She broke down the entirety of the rest of her heel team.
And I gotta say this because we're talking about AJ and Becky. I gotta give kudos to Wade Barrett, because when they rumbled and they were all going at it, he over the top put over Lash Legend. If anybody caught that, he was giving much props.
He's been so good with
to Lash Legend. Oh my God, he's picking her up like a little rag doll. What is he doing with all the power of this woman? He was selling for her so bad, and Lash has been delivering ever since she stepped foot on SmackDown with Nia Jax. I've been saying it. There's some people that are cut for the main roster in NXT, and there's some people that are not. But Lash is one of those examples. Ever since she came up, and the fact that Wade put her over, the fact that the camera was on her as she was taking Io Sky and showing her, it just tells you what WWE thinks of her for the long run.
Absolutely. And you know what? Kudos to Io being as selfless as she is in allowing herself to, because could Lash do it herself by force? I think that she's strong enough and she has the size and height advantage that she could if she wanted to. But it looks so much more devastating when you have Io going along with it and like flailing her arms like she's a little child. Like you gotta, I know we look at certain things that we like to see, but you really have to pay attention, everybody. Like there's just little things like that you just pick up. It's like, bro. Also, one of the reasons why
star right in front of your eyes.
That's also one of the reasons why this new way of producing where everything's got to be a close-up, right?
Right.
Like that's one of those that was one of those segments where you could have just kept it on a wide hard camera, right? Yeah. So that we could have seen everything, because I didn't see it until Wade said something and he directed my focus to it.
Yeah.
And that's when you could have done the close-up, because at that time they were doing a close-up of Charlotte and Nia.
Listen, I just felt like that whole promo segment, even Becky, they put over Lash like big time. Even before the Rumble, they were letting you know who she is and what she's about. Like, dude, that's what I like to see. That's what I talk about that AEW be lacking. Stars.
That right there is building a star 101.
That's where it is right there.
That is the but the thing is they need to be consistent with it. And I'm talking about WWE when it comes to building a star. So like, all right, now we have Lash. We can treat the powerhouse stars, we can give them that Lash legend treatment. Build them the way that they did with Lash, right? Now they have to, so they can use that as a template. Now they have to be consistent and they have to come up with a template for the Javon Evans style, the aerial assassin, if you will, and then you've got to come up for, like the Joe Hendry style. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like now you have this one template, and it's if you stick with it, it will always work for that Lash Legend style of competitor, of athlete. But that's not the only style that you guys showcase. So you need to find a formula that's going to work when it comes to building another star that has a completely different style.
Right.
And but other than that, that's my only gripe. And other than that, I agree with everything that you said about how they're building Lash Legend. And yes, kudos to Wade Barrett. Now this one, David says, Brock Lesnar shit the bed when he stumbled during his entrance. For those of you that have not seen it, I encourage you to find it on YouTube because I know that it's there.
It's everywhere.
Like, I equate it to the only thing funnier that I have seen is Titus O'Neil's Greatest Royal Rumble entrance, where he comes running down to the ring. He slips and slides under the ring. Now, Brock Lesnar does not ever run anywhere except when he's running the ropes, which if you haven't seen the full speed version of the video of him running the ropes while he's waiting for, I forget who is the competitor. I think it may have been John Cena. The last time he faced Cena, he was waiting for Cena to come out and he was running the ropes at full speed. You want to talk about a frightening sight? Him running the ropes at full speed is frightening, because you get to see just exactly how quick he can still move when he wants to. And it's frightening. So everybody knows Brock's entrance. You have the bounce, right? The bounce. And then he does the and like kind of like does like a little baby stomp, right? Like he does like the little baby Rhea Ripley stomp, even though he was doing it before Rhea. It's just a little stomp. Well, when he did that, he lost his footing, and homeboy, I mean, when I say he bit it to the point that he had to do a backflip to regain his footing. But you know what I noticed with that? He came up and he was laughing. He was laughing so hard at himself, which then, because like Paul's not sure how to react. Like, do I laugh because like this is genuinely funny and I want to laugh, or do I stay in character because this is Brock? And to see Brock coming up laughing hysterically, Paul's laughing. Brock laughed so hard and for so long that he was still walking to the ring laughing. And that goes to show, for me, that shows to me that he doesn't take himself as seriously as we think he does, or as we take him.
Yeah. It also tells me another thing too.
What, the stage is
slipping? Oh, well, you could say that. But this guy doesn't panic.
No.
I mean, this guy just busted his ass. And not only that, this guy ripped his pants one time since his return and didn't panic. I mean,
he laughed at himself. That's another instance where he laughed at himself.
I mean, you got to give the guy credit, man. This guy, if you put anybody in that spot, I'm sure they panicked the hell out. But
well, WrestleMania 20, it was somewhere between 24 and 26. Ultimo Dragon comes out, right? And they're in New York. Ultimo Dragon comes out, fucking slides. Boom. Loses his footing, pops right back up. But there was no like you can tell he took that seriously. And it's like, oh, dude, it's just like,
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, no, I would definitely watch it. There's a difference in how he took it as opposed to how Brock took it.
That's good, man. It's okay. We know he's a beast, so I laughed. I thought it was funny. kind of remind me of some like, you know what? When I say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, because I was watching it yesterday, the original on Showtime. So I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap! This looks like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like he's trying to dodge the nunchucks or something, a sword. Like, oh, it's backflip. Like a back roll. Like, let me just roll. And the roll was so slow. It was like, can he get up?
Oh, it was a.
Yeah, I thought he struggled on the roll coming up. I was like, is he using his
I think
hands or-
I think he he may have
Yeah,
struggled on the
I
roll.
think he struggled like on the roll a little bit. But hey, man, I got to give that guy. Listen, I would shit the bed. I would panic as hell if that was.
Oh, absolutely. I would have been like, I would have. I've been like, can we? Nope, cancel it. We're starting over.
Be like, okay, I'm going to walk very fast to the ring now.
I'm gonna run to the ring and we're just gonna get it going.
Speed run right now.
Yeah. All right, so that's our Raw recap, and then we're gonna, hopefully we can wrap this up in the next 10 minutes.
Let's wrap it up.
We're going over the War Games 2025 card. Obviously, we just went over the teams for our men's War Games match.
Yes.
Who do you think's got the men's War Games match, knowing that Team Vision now has the main advantage?
It's a hard call because I'm actually wearing Guy's shirt. Would love to see it happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen for the fact that CM Punk and Cody are champions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the Usos have anything going on. And I don't really care. I'm not invested in them, to be honest. I'm more invested with them solo than together, if that makes more sense. Because I want to see Jimmy get more, and I think he was doing a hell of a job. I don't think Roman needs it. Let's face it, he's trying to put people over, so why not put Team Vision over? I just feel like I don't think Brock would take an L in this. I can't even picture Brock Lesnar taking an L in this type of match. So it doesn't make sense, especially since it's his first War Games match. So I got to consider that
a weird pick.
How about this? How about this to consider it? The fact that he slipped and busted his ass on Monday, I cannot take him giving the L on this match, okay? I just don't see it. And the fact that you want to put – listen, I think this whole match is basically built off of Braun Breaker. And if you really want to make him in a star, I don't think he needs to take this L in this match. And I get it. Okay, maybe they will lose, but he doesn't need to get pinned in this match as well. I think you need to make Braun strong. You need to make the Vision strong, especially what they're going through. Drew McIntyre, we know he's been lost in limbo for the last 6 months. I honestly don't know what they have planned for him, but I think we need to bring him back to Raw. That's just me. So hopefully the suspension leads towards that for the future storylines. Logan Paul is a main attraction, so you're not going to see him again. I don't really have any investment towards him, but he's one hell of an athlete. I can't wait to see what he does this Saturday.
Which is exactly why if Team Vision has to lose, Logan Paul needs to be the one that takes the pin.
And I would agree with you 1,000% on that, no doubt. I just feel that Team Vision needs this win, and the fact that you have Brock Lesnar in it, I just can't see them taking an L. Just can't see it.
I think you're absolutely correct. I do have Team Vision going over in this match. I think that it's going to be Jay that takes the pin for Team Champions, simply because it'll help further his heel turn story.
You're 1,000%. I'm 100% agree with you, man. I truly think that would truly help.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely needs to happen. Or whether it's Jay or Jimmy. If it's Jimmy, I think it's better, to be honest. If Jimmy takes the L in that match.
No, you know what? I think you're right.
Hey, Jay could be like, yo, what are you doing? Don't get near me, dog. I'm upset. No. I get that type of attitude going because let's face it, Roman has been implying in the past, I think you brought it up in past shows, that he's having that influence on Jay, trying to get him to be, your own tribal chief, your own path. So I think it will help 1,000%.
I think you're absolutely right. I thinking about it, that does make way more sense. How now? And as you were talking, I was just thinking, what if the conclusion of Jay's arc is full circle? And when I say full circle, I mean you had Roman's heel arc started with him beating Jay, right? What if Jay's arc comes full circle and he starts, Jimmy takes the L, takes the pin. Jay starts flipping out on him. Like, how could you do this, that, and the third? Roman steps in and be like, yo, Oos, calm down. And then you have Jay start flipping out on Roman. Does it come to blows at this point, or does Jay walk away and, they can pull the trigger at like Royal Rumble for him to like actually lay hands on Roman, where it'll come to fruition with him and Roman having a match where Jay goes over?
See, I think it needs to happen if you're going to do it in San Diego compared to Saudi. And I don't think you want to do that type of story, especially in Saudi, especially there's not a lot of viewers. If it was in the States, I'm 100% with you on that. But I think you don't need to necessarily have a beatdown, but you could definitely have that verbal stage shove that maybe kind of knocks him down, and kind of have basically Cody kind of, and CM Punk kind of stopping Jay and just having his back and whatnot. I think you could do it like that, not basically tease out the whole thing. You still have a lot to play, especially coming back in Elimination Chamber in the States.
Right.
So a little tease would really do good, I think. I don't know what the PLE for December is. I always forget, man.
I don't think there is one. I think it's the Saturday night. I think it's the Saturday night main event.
Okay, just the John Cena thing.
Yeah, I think that's what December is for this year. So now we get on to a more difficult prediction: the women's War Games match.
Wow. And the fact that the story's been told so great, that got me thinking, that just means how great it is.
Right?
But I'm going to pick here. I'm going to say Team Becky and Nia. I think the heels will go over in both matches. I just can't see the other team having the win. And didn't we kind of give AJ that finish off Becky and just having her tap and whatnot? Do we really have to see AJ go over again?
So,
and this is why I say that, because look how the promo started last night. It started AJ talking the whole night. Nobody else talked. Just AJ and Becky. So the story's built around them. So how can I have AJ go over twice, especially if it's just a team Survivor Series? Becky's still in play.
So this is I'm going to say this. You take a page out of AEW's book. You eliminate them from the competition, from the match. I mean, hold on. The same way that they eliminated Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander from the women's blood and guts match, right? Somehow they end up outside, big table spot or something like that. Boom, those two are gone. They're on the outside of the ring. They're an afterthought. Now you concentrate on the 8 ladies in the ring, and it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I would like to see the heels go over, and I would like to see Lash Legend make the pin on either Rhea or Charlotte.
I like that.
I would prefer it to be Rhea. And the women heels win, and AJ and Becky can still have their thing because they were outside, they were incapacitated. Their feud still goes.
There's a lot of ways you could do this. That's one way you could do it. But I just feel like you can have them go at it, whatever, in the corner, whatever they want to do, etc., etc. But when the end comes to play, I just feel like Becky needs to get that revenge. She's the one that's going to need to pin AJ Lee to sort of have that, okay, you got me up on one, now I got you up on one. Now,
Mhm.
how are we going to close this off? But wait a minute, we can't close it off because now we're going to the Rumble. Now we're both fighting for a title opportunity. Or maybe AJ's coming in the Rumble just to stop Becky from having a title opportunity. Whatever the story you want to play.
Mhm.
But I think the big payoff of both of these is basically a WrestleMania match. It has to be.
I would
It
think nothing
definitely
less.
has to be. It has to be. It
Yeah.
has to be. So I would just kind of do it like that. But I just truly feel like Becky needs that one up. She needs to have that one up. You can't
Yeah. No, she can't go down 0-2.
Yeah, but you can't just have her pin like Io Sky or something.
No. If she
can't
so
do that.
that's why I was saying you take them out of the match because it continues their feud, right? Because
Right.
now you can say that neither one of them pinned each other. So
Right.
it's still AJ 1, Becky 0, regardless of whose team wins.
Right.
And now you can carry it to the Royal Rumble.
And
If you wanted to.
Yeah, and I get why you want to see Lash, because I agree with you that, you got to build stars, like I said. But if I have to just go to play, I just think the bigger story is dumb. We all saw last night. And the fact you could still build Lash into the star even without her taking the win. You really don't. She could do spots that would make her look really, really good. And we've seen it in the past few
you're
weeks.
right.
So, just the way they were just talking, the way Becky comes out and talking, and then AJ talking, it just feels like the story's there. Now, how are we going to develop it further? How are we going to push it?
So you can have Becky pin AJ with Lash still looking dominant. So now they're tied up. They're tied up 1-1. Royal Rumble doesn't count because they're both in there going for a title.
So
maybe they eliminate each other.
Yeah.
Which would then help further their feud.
All right.
Okay.
And
yeah. You could take them all the way through Elimination Chamber to Mania.
Yeah. And we know she's probably not going to show up in Elimination Chamber. So let's face it, you're not going to see her. So that's out. And now you have WrestleMania. And it's a 2-night, right? And we're going back to Vegas after the numbers from last year, which weren't really great. Probably the most hated WrestleMania probably down in history. Maybe one of those. Not on my top list, but it's definitely there. But you could do it like that. You got to make 2 nights. You know what I mean? You got to have main event matches. Can't just have Jimmy and Jay. Sorry. It's just not
no,
there.
you're absolutely right. So we're in agreement on both the winners of both War Games matches.
We are.
Next we have the IC title match. John Cena versus Dom. This is where Dom gets his get back. Like it's so hard. You gave Cena, I understand, but you gave Cena the belt so that he has all all of them now. The only wrestler to be never before seen 17 and a quadruple threat champion or whatever it's called.
We can't have all the heels win though. It's just like,
why not?
We have the 2 main matches, heels going over. Now we're going to put another heel over. So it's, you know what it's sounding like? It's sounding like that NXT PLE last when all the heels just went over. Not a face went over.
Listen, sometimes that's how it has to be. Sometimes that's how it has to be. Listen, Gunther doesn't need the IC title.
Yeah,
Gunther doesn't need the IC title, and you're not going to let John retire with it.
But you can let somebody else beat Gunther, right? I mean,
Javon Evans,
if he's available.
I mean, that would be a hell of
the rematch. Bring back Chad Gable, for God's sakes. Bring him back.
Why? So he can wrestle with one arm?
Bring him back.
And then so you think Cena's going over with the title?
I think Cena's going over.
I think Dom regains his title.
Okay, that's a good call. Either or, I'm fine with, to be honest. Either or.
I am as well, but I think for me it makes more, for my brain, it makes more sense for Dom to get his get back. And then the last match of the card, because it is only a 4-match card as of right now. Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. I hate this. Stephanie needs to go over. something tells me that that's probably not what's going to happen. Nikki doesn't need to be in the title picture. I don't know if she's in the title picture to lend more credibility to Vaquer's title reign, because the women's division right now on Raw is very face heavy.
Right.
You know, so maybe that's why she's brought in, but she doesn't need to win it.
I don't listen. I have a couple things here to make it quick because I know we all got to go get ready for our turkey coming up Thursday. But I will say this: definitely bad booking. Definitely Raquel said it better last night in her promo with Adam Pearce when she said, "How is Nikki Bella getting a shot? She loses every match. She lost every match. She's getting a title shot at Survivor Series. It's ridiculous." The fact that I think that we can be all in agreement here that when Stephanie Vaquer, we wanted her to win the championship. We really had high hopes at that time, but I guess something happened. If you remember, I think Io Sky was champ and she was supposed to fight Stephanie, and I guess they canceled the match. I think it was Clash in Paris, something like that.
Yeah, they cut the match.
Yeah, I think when they did that, I think they lost momentum on Stephanie. And when she won, let me tell you, great match. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't serve her justice after, right? I feel like we're not hearing her a lot. We're not seeing her wrestle a lot, and we don't know what to do with her. And you put her with Nikki Bella. When you talked about, I think in a conference we had, before, you were like, Nikki Bella, the face of women's evolution. Like, really? Like, we're gonna go with that after all these years? We're gonna just bring it up and we're gonna talk, and Wade is gonna us to our throats.
I have such a huge issue with revisionist history, and like that whole Stephanie and the Bellas being the Stephanie McMahon and the Bellas being the reason the women's division got that evolution, like that rubs me the wrong way so hard, because that was AJ Lee. That was Paige and Emma. Which really started it. Melina was the one that started hashtag Give Divas a Chance, and because of it, they shit canned her 2 weeks later. That was AJ blasting out a tweet, directed towards Stephanie when, Stephanie had followed up a tweet about, give women a voice or whatever. Use our voice. Like, no, the Bellas and Stephanie McMahon were not the reason for the evolution. At that time, the reason for the women's revolution was because the reason why they used those three is because everybody that I had mentioned at that time was not on WWE TV. Yeah. They had let Emma go, they had let AJ go. I think Paige may have been injured, but it, like, that rubs me the wrong way so much. Like, I can't even explain it to you.
I just feel that when she was hot, but we all seen this. You get injured when you're hot, it's not the same when you whether it's not the same when you come back, but also when you're off TV, that also plays a play too, man. Like, I think that Clash Paris match that was supposed to happen and they took the card out, I really think that hurt, because she was red hot. Momentum, coming out Raw every night, having a match with whoever, Devil's Kiss, crowd goes pop, loud, win, 1, 2, 3. I felt like it hurt her, man. It really did. And now look what we saw last night, the video package with subtitles. What?
Yep.
This is the face of your Raw brand, your women's champion. And for God's sakes, I saw Jade on SmackDown just in a backstage segment, but at least I saw her.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like the band's tuning up. So real quick, let's give our thoughts on the show, on the week, and on the holiday coming up, and we can wrap it up and enjoy our Turkey Day. So Jay, final thoughts?
My final thoughts is I hope you and everybody watching have a happy Thanksgiving. Please drive safe if you're driving. Don't drink too much, but Jay's going to drink a lot, I'll tell you that. But I will say this, thank you for everybody watching. I think we're going to have a fantastic show this Saturday, so everybody should watch War Games. Me and Ray are going to come back next week stronger than ever and earlier without any technical difficulties. We apologize.
Man, let's hope.
We don't know, but this is what we do. It seems like the norm, but we're going to try to change it. We're going to try to change it for the new month and everything coming up when we talk about War Games next week, but hopefully there ain't no technical difficulties. So, Ray, kudos to your family. Have a Thanksgiving, everybody. I'll let you final thoughts.
Absolutely. Jay, I hope that you and your family have a great Thanksgiving. Let's try to remember what the holidays are about, and it's about spending time with the ones that we love, remembering the ones that are no longer here, and let's also make sure that we are smart and we keep our drunk selves, because you're only responsible for yourself, off the road. Uber, call a friend. Call a cab, call the cops, call the fire department. They have no problem helping you out. They would rather help you out and get you home safe than help you out of a wreck or have to deliver any bad news to your family. So with that being said, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Top it off with a hell of a show with War Games, and then meet us back here on next Tuesday for our follow-up to War Games.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You folks have yourselves a very happy Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for continuing to tune in to us over at the Around the Ropes radio show. We appreciate it. Have a good night, folks.
I love Jason.
Ayo, Parrish, this shit high, boy.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a 2-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty